Hey everyone, welcome back to the Real Estate Rundown here with Marcy, where we meet with top professionals in our real estate industry, and we got a show prepared for you today. Stay tuned. Welcome back everyone to the Real Estate Rundown here with Marcy, where we meet with top professionals in our industry. Today our next guest, I'd like to introduce you to Carlo. Hi Carlo.
Hi Marcy, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I want to share with our audience, tell them a little bit about who you are, what you do, and we'll get a little bit more into it, but let's tell them who you are.
Yeah. My name is Carlo Dipasquale, and I'm a real estate agent, and I work for Compass. And I focus on luxury residential real estate. I've been living in Miami Beach for 26 years, and I've been doing real estate in the past 23.
Wow, that's a long time.
It's a long time that I've been in real estate. I started actually with Douglas Selliman, then I moved to Related Cervera Realty Services, which was actually doesn't even exist anymore. It was dissolved, and then we all transitioned to Cervera. So I was with Cervera for like 16 years.
Wow.
It was with Cervera. I sold a lot of pre-construction buildings, mainly in the area of South of Fifth. Like I sold Ocean House, I sold the Icon, Morano Grande, all of those buildings in South of Fifth. And I actually have been living in South of Fifth since I moved to Miami.
Wow, that's just a whole lot of information that I kind of want to break down a little bit, especially with the pre-construction experience. Okay, so you have a lot of experience. You have the luxury market, but you also have the pre-construction. So that's a good, information to share with our clientele and our audience, because a lot of them want to know, especially investors and international clients, they want to know a little bit about all these projects that are going on and reaching out to someone like yourself who's an expert that can give them the information. So that's very good to know. Let's get deeper a little bit about your niche and exactly what you focus on.
I work mainly with international clients, buyer and sellers. Being Italian, born and raised, actually when I moved to Miami, I worked for the General Council of Italy, so I had a diplomatic career. And it's interesting how that career then, I transitioned from a diplomatic career to real estate. And so those clients that I used to issue passports or any consular service, providing any consular service to them, then became my clients. And even my co-workers at the consulate became my first clients. So I I work mainly with Italians, but also with Brazilians. I travel to Brazil and to Italy to give real estate presentations. And when I travel to those places, I'm actually going to Switzerland and Milan in 2 weeks with another client that asked me to go. She wants me to meet 3 of her friends who were interested in buying in Miami. I give real estate presentation where I don't just present the projects, but actually talk about Miami, the growth of Miami, and how much as Miami has evolved and grown in the last 20 years. Because Miami used to be like a place where people would come and vacation and just go to the beach and restaurants, become a global city. And it keeps on growing. It is actually, I think, one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. So I go and talk about that.
It's amazing what's been happening here interchangeably. And speaking about that, you travel to different countries. It's also, and you're predominantly was Italian and Brazilian, but also it's all flair of international clients, because we had conversation recently where you have a team. I want you to share a little bit about a team and different countries where you kind of pair up the clientele with your realtors. Share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I have a team of 14 people that I created when I moved to Compass. And the way I structured the team is that I have the team members come from different parts of the world. Some of them from Germany, other from Switzerland, other from Brazil,
right.
Other from any part of South America. So, and the reason why I structured the team and build the team in this way is because we basically cover all languages. We speak several languages, and it's a perfect way to satisfy the client needs. But also, what I do is I try to match a client with a member member of my team because it's so they first of all they speak the same language. So because when a client buys a property or sells a property, wants to feel comfortable in the whole process and make
Right.
sure they understand every single aspect of it. And second, because culturally they are close. For instance, I'm working with a German client, and I said, I think the best match would be to match this client with Mark, who is German, because culturally, they understand each other better. And it turned out to be a perfect match. They bought, and now they wanna buy more units because they were happy with the service that Mark and I provided.
Yeah, we had a discussion where we know especially in what we do, luxury, residential, and commercial. This is what we do. We know that our clients speak the language, are extremely educated and savvy, and know exactly what they're getting into. But when you have a partner like yourself and a team that could kindly match the culture, match the things, when we're talking about money, when we're talking about certain things, it's the comfortability, it's the knowledge, it's explaining things where everything is more at ease for them. And that really makes
Correct.
a difference, right? When you're buying or selling, in a different country and you're finally making that step, it's a big thumbs up, right?
It is, for sure.
Let's talk. Okay, we talked a little bit about your niche, your team. Let's share, how did you get in real estate?
Like I mentioned before, I was working at the General Council of Italy, and I had a realtor at the time because I was buying and selling real estate for myself. So I started acquiring properties and fixing them and then selling them, and I did it a few times to the point that I really liked the real estate. So I decided to get a license, but never with the intention of becoming a realtor. I just studied and I said, listen, I want to learn more about this while I had my diplomatic career. And once I got the license, I just developed an interest in this to the point that I actually quit my job at the consulate and I decided to focus on real estate full time. I don't regret it at all because it's actually my passion.
That brings us to relationships. How important the relationships you built at your job, which was, serving and curating those things for them, that the clients thought of you.
Yeah.
They thought of you, because you built those relationships, those trusted relationships. They thought of you, and it transitioned into what you do now because of those strong relationships. Which brings us back to, relationships are everything. How important, because a lot of people don't know how important it is to work with a good closing team, a title company. People that buy here think, you sign the contract, that's it, you get it in the house. But there's a team behind you. How important it is to have that team and a reputable closing company to work with by your side.
It is actually the key factor in a transaction because once you put something on the contract, you have an entire process that starts that involves a lot of elements. Working with the right title company is what makes or breaks the deal. So it is actually the most important part of the process, and we always want the process to be as smooth as possible. So it is very important to select the right title agent and establish a good relationship with this title agent of trust and also understanding to make everything go smoothly for all parties, for us, for the client, for the title agent, for the seller, the buyer, everybody. There's so many people involved.
It
in the
really
process.
is. So it's so key to have the right partnerships and secure strategies, in what you do in real estate. But not only do you do real estate in Miami, you also do real estate in New York.
Yes, I do have a business partner in New York, and because at the end of the day, the same clientele that buys in Miami buys in New York.
Yes.
It's the same kind of buyer, the same kind of seller. I'm actually going to New York on Monday with a client that I'm going to be with today. Is interested in purchasing properties in Miami, a commercial property to open a restaurant, and a commercial property to open another restaurant in New York. So we're gonna be flying to New York on Monday, meet with my business partner, be there for a few days. The real estate is very, it is hyper local. So you need to focus on a certain market. So that's why I have a business partner in New York, because he is the expert of New York real estate, and I'm the expert of the Miami real estate. This way, you cover all bases.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you for being here. Would you kindly share with our audience how people can reach you?
Thank you for having me. First of all, you can reach me on Instagram, of course, has become our new website pretty much.
That's so true.
Which is Carlo Dipasquale Miami, or you can call me at my cellular phone, which is also on Instagram, or email. But Instagram, I would say, is the best way to contact me.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, and thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.